Abuja should relocate here. Why? And within a space of time, the crisis was solved. The reason was that he didn't sit down to begin to believe that he could solve it with number, but he could solve that problem with negotiation, with interaction. He became an instrument of data collection. And the boys, they surrendered. And today, I'm sure no one hears about the Avengers again because they participated in it. A typical example again is our Vice Chancellor. He is an interpretivist because he doesn't believe that people should give him report. He believes that he should rub mind with the elements or the subject within the system and get first-hand information to solve specific problems. In one of the ASU meetings I attended, where and said, oh, if everyone was behaving, terminology for the become an instrument of data collection. So, ladies and gentlemen, please a hand of applause for our Vice Chancellor. I am learning from you, sir, every day. My personal journey and some of my contribution as a research community revealed a mismatch between knowledge and published knowledge and lived reality, and how this research, of course, were carried out. And I've also sought over the years to see how I can close the gap, between using qualitative research paradigm. As a scholar, I was still trained in a dominant tradition, but my interaction with the global research community revealed a mismatch between knowledge and published knowledge and lived reality. How I can close the gap, between using qualitative research paradigm. In one of the conferences I attended some years ago, I met, that was last year, Academy of Marketing Conference. I met a researcher he's a manager in one of the telecoms company. And he told me, and I asked him, why is it that we don't consult, researchers from, our ivory tower here to solve, to handle problems within the industry? And he told me, pump and plain, that we need to change the way research is done within this sphere here if we must solve problems. Myself and Wright in 2016, we did a research titled Customer Relationship Management and Service Quality Influence in Higher Education. This research was actually the hallmark that brought me to Limelight. In fact, this is research where I did what they call methodological contribution. And it was a research, it's published in a 3-star ABS journal that qualified me and my supervisory team to put me forward for Viva in 2 years, which is phenomenal, in the business school of University of Huddersfield. Now, what did we do? Other existing research haven't shown how studies that are carried out using thematic template analysis and content analysis, how themes are abrogated, how teams are eliminated. Where you have 50 teams arising from a research, how do you abrogate them to cut them down into something more harmful and manageable? How they can make more money, but they're not interested in investing how customer experiences are improved over time. Again, Wally and Walker, 2017, we did a research in the aviation industry, and the finding from this research showed that more customers are interested in patronizing international companies or international airlines that contextualize their in-flight services within the context which they operate, rather than that of the international or bringing other Egypt Air, which is part of our sample industry, Lufthansa Air, which was part of our sample industry as well. Researchers were there that we fly more here, the number of flights they fly from here to abroad. Why is it that they serve us foods that are foreign-oriented rather than food that are domesticated or contextually oriented within our system? And these findings from this research was actually sent to all the companies that we sampled, customers from all those companies that we sampled. And I can tell you that 3 years after, when I flew Egypt Air, I ate something different from what I ate 2 years ago. And I want to believe it may be as a result of findings from this research which was given to them, which is part of what we're talking about, poor archivation and poor management dissemination system. So when researches are done and you have confidence in the output of a research, it is important that you disseminate that research to those industries where research are carried out, so they will have knowledge of what you've done. And perhaps things or findings arising from those research can help in solving problems. Very quickly, we also had another work in 2021, which is titled Marketization of Public Universities. And this research here, we looked at, the theoretical lens we used in this research here was resource dependency theory. And of course, at this level here, every system, we found that every university or higher institution within our system, we're actually depending on the strategic resources they have, but without recognizing that even tactical resources at tactical level there can also be part of the strength or strategy in winning international customers. And so I think some years ago, a certain HOD of this university read this, and we talked about it. And I told him, even at your strategic level, you are at the departmental level, you can as well, become resource, you can become a source of generating or attracting international students into this country. And today, we have students coming from Liberia, courtesy of him, the HOD of Banking and Finance. About 5 students at postgraduate level schooling here. He didn't depend on institutional level. Perhaps if there are poor infrastructure, manpower, and not looking at the human infrastructure and not actually the physical infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, because I've been given signs by my dean severally, from the foregoing, fix your thought on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Of course, when things like this are taught, the research you do, think about it properly. If the methodology you're adopting is proper and fit for that research you want to do. Because if you do the right research with the wrong methodology, you get the wrong result and you can't solve the right problem. Recommendation. We've recommended here that the university establish an institute or name it a center for behavioral science and industry studies. Vice Chancellor, sir, you will agree with me that all over the world, the business school is the hub of revenue. And as such, if you look at all other faculties across the university, you discover the Faculty of Administration and Management is the only one without a viable center that would drive business research. And so if we do this, of course, we've talked about it's going to attract tripartite impact. Number one is that we will have the capacity to train, our scholars, our existing scholars, and our students, our doctoral students and postgraduate students, and all that, and build them into becoming something of an expert in research. About £1 million in research. And I want to tell you, Vice Chancellor, industry will come here, researchers from industries will be domiciled within this center, and we'll have some sort of multidisciplinary, scholars, skills, skill carriers coming together to do research. Number 2 is to establish data repository for all research output within the university. In other words, all postgraduate academic research and other productive works of our researchers will be reposited there, and even as we properly disseminate knowledge arising from those research and all that, businesses can as well leverage on what we have to solve their problems. Number 3 is to foster multidisciplinary collaboration. It's important that we encourage collaboration and build them into becoming something of an expert in research. Again, it will also attract to the university side, it will attract in one center in the University of Essex some 3 years ago, where they attracted about £1 million in research. And I want to tell you, because industry will come here, researchers from industries will be domiciled within this center, and we'll have some sort of multidisciplinary, scholars, skills, skill carriers. She's not here, but she's here with us in the spirit. She has been my pillar. Without her, I don't think I'll be here where I am, because I know when we got married, she said, you want to become lecturer. I don't like lecturers, so I don't like lecturers. And I said, calm down. This is where my calling is. And she submitted thereafter. She's a submissive wife to me. She's been my helper. She's been everything to me. She's like my mother to me as well. And I also want to appreciate my daughters. They are my deputy editors. My first daughter, Wealth, and Duchess. They are watching me now. They are amazing. They are amazing. Special and faithful. They are amazing. I love you guys. And to my spiritual fathers as well. Pastor Charles Amade, he's always there interceding for us at all times with higher grace. What am I? What will I have been without them? Ladies and gentlemen, let me also say thank you to the principal officers, because without them too, my leg will be shaking here, thorough. If I have my opportunity, I would say recommend them for a second time. They are very, very thorough. At some point, I had some challenges and they said, do it like this. And I had wisdom in me. God said, just listen. Because no man sleeps without turning this way and turning this way. It's only a dead man that is fixed on the wall without any form of reservation for negativity. So once again, Nyewele Choba, please, a round of applause, please. Nyewele Ibela. And to my immediate chief, Nyevumbu Chakara, Eze Marcos Chakara. The Chakara, Megasa. And again, to the women of Rumo Chakara, Elenia, Ambelawe, and those from my mother's side, Karamambelawe, Ndeo Hachoban, Bankalama Mekao, Nkalama Mekao, Nkalama Mekao. Thank you very much and God bless.
Shema.
Our former Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies, we want to thank our Wukari academic community for finding him worthy for promotion to the rank of a professor. Those of you from Wukari, can you just wave and let us see you? Thank you. Stand up and take a bow. Stand up and take a bow. Can you stand up? Let us see you. Thank you very much. Those from Wukari, we are very grateful for giving us this erudite professor. Now, he started by asserting that marketing and indeed business research is of great value to businesses through its impact. He, however, warned that the impact of marketing and business research is impaired due to certain what you call ethical improprieties and colonialities, owing to the dominance of the quantitative or objective research paradigm. The impaired impact of marketing and business research is what he sought to address in this lecture. And indeed, he did so by explaining the key concepts, by offering us a discourse on rethinking the impact in marketing and business research, the offer of the interpretative lenses, examination of the rationale for declining impact in marketing and business research, and making reference to his scholarly contributions to address the problem of inadequate impact of marketing and business research. He then offered 4 recommendations. The Center for Behavioral Science and Industry Studies, I think, because of the challenge we have with infrastructure, and until we have the facility to do so, we'll suggest we have our faculties and departments diffuse this scholarly practice initiated herein and expected to be pursued by this center in their various programs and serve as a benchmark. He also suggested data repository. I'm glad to say we've already started doing it with the support of the library, the postgraduate school, And Family Search International, right now, we are archiving all of our PhD theses. It is ongoing. It is our hope that when we finish, we upload it on Tara's platform. He recommended advocacy for training and success story sharing. Indeed, we'll expect the faculties to do that, and that's the reason why we've advocated that we should have professional bodies and industry interface, where we can have people from industry come to mentor our students, where we can have people from professional organizations and institutes come to mentor our students. And because we value this component of knowledge sharing, this component of harvesting knowledge, management has decided to also institute what we have now called administrative lecture series. Just as we have inaugural lecture, we want to take care of our non-teaching staff, and they can come to share their experiences. We know some of our heads of departments and our deans, they do not have sufficient knowledge of administrative procedures. We think by instituting the administrative lecture series, we're going to have a situation where on a regular basis, we have non-academic staff come and share their knowledge with us. And we are proud to announce that the rector of the university will be the first to give that lecture. Please put your hands together for him. Finally, he talked about paradigm integration. And of course, he just talked about triangulation, method mix. Covered, quantitative approach to research has its weaknesses, its drawbacks. The qualitative approach also has its weaknesses and its drawbacks. So the advantage of triangulation is to harness the strengths of each of them to make our research input very, very qualitative. And that is the advocacy of the 116th inaugural lecturer, and I want to say he has done justice to the topic. Once again, can we put our hands together for him? This to say proudly that we have kept the convention, the tradition of having an inaugural lecture back to back and making our contribution to the development of Nigeria. Once again, I say thank you all and God bless you.
It is my honor and privilege to invite the Vice Chancellor once again to decorate the inaugural lecturer.